Hey guys, it's Michael. I have breaking news for you from Washington on the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. In today's video, we're going to go over how the Problem Solvers Caucus, a group of 50 centrist lawmakers, is planning to propose a new $1.5 trillion stimulus bill later today to help prop up the U.S. economy. And this is huge news because it is a compromise from what both sides want, and it includes direct stimulus checks and enhanced unemployment benefits. So the two most important aspects that people care about. So I'm first going to break down what exactly is in this bill and how much money you can expect to receive. Then we're going to go over other aspects of the bill, such as money for state and local governments, testing, and the eviction moratorium that would prevent people from getting evicted from their homes. And finally, we're going to go over that while this plan does have elements that both parties do support and have outwardly shown support for, there is still some disagreements with this bill, which I will touch on as well. But before we get started, it would really mean a lot if you could like the video down below and subscribe to my channel. It's completely free to do so, and it currently says that about 50% of you watching are not subscribed. So if you'd like to stay up to date on the second stimulus check, second stimulus package, as well as other news updates, then please be sure to subscribe. Also, don't forget, you can get a free stock valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below, and get $20 immediately when you download the M1 Finance app. So, a bipartisan group of 50 centrist lawmakers plan later in the day today, on Tuesday, to present a $1.5 trillion second stimulus bill that will prop up the virus-ravaged economy, making a last-ditch attempt for a compromise in hopes of breaking the stalemate in Congress right now. Introduced by the bipartisan group called the Problem Solvers Caucus in the House of Representatives, led by New Jersey Democrat Representative John Gottheimer and New York Republican Representative Tom Reed. The plan is intended to serve as a short-term measure to shore up programs and provide new funding through the January presidential inauguration. They want to get more stimulus that will help through the end of the election. The group wants the plan to serve as an outline to push leadership and the White House back to the negotiating table. The measure calls for $1.52 trillion in new money, but the price tag could increase roughly $400 billion in February and in March, depending on how the country is doing with the virus and the pandemic. On the other hand, if the U.S. is seeing a decline in the virus and things are getting a lot better, well, then the total price tag of the bill could drop roughly $200 billion. Lawmakers involved described this as a final attempt to pry loose some kind of bipartisan stimulus relief deal before Congress leaves Washington for the election season. They say if we don't get a bill passed within the next couple of weeks, well, then we most likely are going to have to wait until after the November election. So some details of the package have been leaked before they officially proposed this bill, which is set to officially be announced later today. And the bill touches on many of the elements under discussion right now between Democrats and Republicans, such as aid to small businesses and schools, a new round of direct stimulus checks to Americans, more jobless benefits, and funding to help the November elections, while it also achieves bipartisan consensus on a number of issues that have left the two sides bickering for the past several months, such as money for state and local governments. The breakdown on the specific amounts in this package are that the package would direct $100 billion to healthcare programs, including $25 billion for virus testing and contact tracing. Next up is it would provide $500 billion to state and local governments to help pay for lost revenue caused by the pandemic and costs associated with the virus response. Moving on, it would also provide an additional $145 billion for schools and childcare, $15 billion for the U.S. Postal Service, and $290 billion for small businesses, including another round of the Payment Protection Program. On top of this, it would also include $400 million to help states with the November election. However, while these aspects are very important, these aren't the aspects that most people care about. So the most important measures this bill will include is that it incorporates another $1,200 direct stimulus check to individuals under a certain income threshold, with an additional $500 for each dependent you have. It also extends the federal eviction moratorium so people cannot be evicted from their homes, and it provides $25 billion for rental assistance. On top of the stimulus checks and eviction moratorium, under the plan, unemployed workers would be eligible for federal jobless benefits for 8 weeks at $450 per week, and then after these 8 weeks, the unemployment benefits would transition up to $600 per week, similar to what we had in the CARES Act passed earlier in the year. However, there would be a cap on the amount people could receive, and this cap would be what they previously made with their job, because they don't want people to make more with unemployment benefits than they did with their job. So, while this plan has elements that both parties could support, it is far more generous than what many Republicans want, particularly over state and local government aid and for jobless benefits. On the other hand, it is also short of what Democrats like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer wanted to spend, so it's sort of right in the middle. Members of the bipartisan group called the Problem Solvers Caucus said that they have kept both the White House and Democratic leaders involved in their efforts to draft up this bill, and they say that they have not been discouraged from either side to get this bill drafted and proposed later today. The group has spoken by phone with White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows amid the stalemate in the talks at the leadership level, and everyone seems on board to get this bill proposed and passed as soon as possible. However, one thing to keep in mind is that for this bill to still become a law, it would need to be backed up and passed by the House, then passed by the Senate, and also President Trump would need to sign off on it. So there are some doubts that this would be able to pass both sides, because this bill doesn't provide exactly what either side wants. It's more of a compromise. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Anyways, that is just a quick update on the second stimulus check and second stimulus package and the new bill that is set to be proposed later today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to get your free stock valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below, and get $20 immediately when you download the M1 finance app as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.